You know when you wake up and you turn on the news and you find out a massive disaster just happened? The day just affects you. You sit there in front of the news, maybe flipping back and forth, just think to yourself, oh my god, how the hell could something this bad happen? Disasters can be powerful stuff, but sometimes disasters can really change everything. Today we'll be talking about 3 disasters that, despite happening long before you were born, still affect you today. First up, Hindenburg. Hindenburg was probably the most iconic disaster to happen, no doubt thanks to the film footage narrated by Herbert Morrison.
All the humanity and all the fans are just feeling around it. I don't...
The disaster happened when a hydrogen that kept the airship afloat caught fire, causing the 245-metre airship to fall horribly to the ground. Before planes were a major mode of air transportation, airships were used for long-distance flights, including crossing the Atlantic. They were used during World War I to carry bombs for cities and during peacetime to carry passengers for travel. The Hindenburg disaster ended the age of the airship and is the reason why you rarely see zeppelins in the air today, which is a shame because what are zeppelins but flying cruise ships? I mean, that would just be awesome. Talking of cruise ships, the second disaster on the list is Titanic. Titanic is probably the most famous ship to ever sail the 7 seas, not only for its luxury, but also for its demise. The story of what happened in 1912 reads more like a disaster novel, and in fact is spookily similar to the events described in the novel Futility, or The Wreck of the Titan, which was written in 1898. I advise you actually Google that book, it's pretty spooky. The mixture of a lack of lifeboats, a moonless night and ignored ice warnings led to the death of up to 1,635 people. The event sent shockwaves around the world and made the ship and what happened to it legendary. And regulations in ship safety were changed, meaning that the number of lifeboats required for a ship was based on the number of passengers, not the gross tonnage of a ship. Its impact on culture was much bigger. When I was 4, I went to the Isle of Man and we went across the Isle of Man by boat, and the whole time I was on that boat I kept asking my parents over and over and over again if the ship was sinking. Personally, I'm kinda glad it didn't, because it would probably either kill me or scar me for life. Alongside books, movies and TV shows, Titanic has become a byword for the worst thing that could possibly happen to you at sea. And now to the worst possible thing that could happen to you in the air. The Comet was the first ever production commercial airliner. It pioneered the jet travel that today we take for granted. However, in the early days, the Comet had a habit of breaking up in mid-air. Yeah, pretty big drawback. It was discovered as the plane ascended and descended, the metal expanded and contracted so much that it caused something called metal fatigue. This metal fatigue caused cracks in the fuselage that eventually led to planes breaking up in mid-air. One way this affects you today is plane windows. I mean, have you ever looked at a plane window and just thought to yourself, why are they round? I mean, surely it would make more sense for them to be square. Well, the reason why they're not square was because cracks form at the corners of square windows, and eventually the plane would break up in mid-air because of those cracks. Good thing that doesn't happen anymore. Thanks for watching History Human. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe and I will hopefully see you next week. Goodbye.